again. This is Chopper. You might know me as the Chopper from Mayaca City. That is me. I'm back here. I want to tell you a little bit more I know about the Haarp signal. Hold on, just let me turn this radio down here. That is a high frequency radio right there, often referred to. It was coming over to the TV quite a bit on movies and whatnot and TV shows. And so I'm wondering, did they place the signal there? Or did the signal arrive there accidentally? Did the signal infiltrate the satellites? As I show a picture of Haarp here, I'm going to pause for a moment because I'm going to try to insert a picture of Haarp here. And if you see this picture of Haarp, it's a 32-acre antenna array, or as hams like to call it, an antenna farm. But essentially, it's a combination of antennas to work in conjunction together. They use very high power, and from what I understand, they shoot the signal straight up in the air. Although, really, I don't know very much about Haarp because I just haven't heard much about it. Even as a ham radio operator, nobody really just ever talked about it until I saw it on TV. And so, anyway, they shoot this signal up into the atmosphere. It goes very far. Actually, I don't know how far it goes, but it should be able to go considerably far through the atmosphere and probably into deep space, from what I would guess, from the power they use in the antenna array. But nonetheless, first off, the beam stimulates the ionosphere. And now they had a scientist come on and show how the electrical stimulation in an atmospheric condition can alter the way the moisture moves through the air, essentially moving clouds. So, that already is weather control. Whether or not they've done it, I've seen claims that the Haarp has caused the earthquakes in China and stuff. And, well, there's a lot of theory about that being able to cause it. Because, like I said, even the rock core in the Earth's crust has a resonant frequency. And if you can concentrate that beam of energy in that resonant frequency in that area, it's kind of sort of like, hold on a second, let me reach over here. I don't actually have a tuning fork, but I have this is my meat fork, so I'm going to give it a tap here and see if we can hear it. Well, I don't know if that's bold enough to be picked up on the audio or not. But anyway, it resonates at a frequency, just like behind me. I've got my Branson organ here. I'll reach around and play some bass notes. Now, if you notice, the first note I played, that's actually a C. As I go to the B, you'll hear some extra vibration. And that is something around here reaching its resonant frequency and vibrating. So essentially, that is the gist of what the resonant frequency situation is. So, that's also frequencies. Now, in there, you have like a range of frequencies, because what you have are, VLF, very low frequency, which is subaudible frequency, to all the way to very, very high frequency, maybe beyond. I don't know. I really haven't read too much on the higher frequencies as much, but essentially you have the audible range, and then you have the other range that you do your radio broadcasts and TV broadcasts and police radio, cell phones. That's all frequency stuff. GPSs. So essentially, I'm wondering, is the signal leaking in? Like, say they're broadcasting with such power, is the signal leaking in from the satellites out in space? Is it picking it up and putting it through the TV, or is it picking it up through the electrical grid? Because the electrical grid is a lot of copper, and it runs like an antenna, more or less. It could be picking up that signal, but I know I'm hearing it in there. Now, I actually have contacted Haarp, and they did respond to me. I was a little surprised. It took them a couple days, and I informed them that on a certain date in December, on a certain frequency in the amateur radio band, I experienced what I thought was the Haarp signal. And they informed me in their reply. I also informed them about hearing it on the TV and everything. But the only thing they actually addressed was the fact that the Haarp signal, they cannot broadcast in the amateur radio bands. And to be honest with you, I'm not accusing them of broadcasting in the bands. I'm pretty sure it's leaking over. Whether it's a harmonic of the frequency, because that will happen as well, or if it's actually, that they're actually putting it into the TV signal to kind of test and see what it does to people. Because I've been hearing it for a few years, and like I said, I may have always had some mental issues. I mean, I've had some pretty severe head traumas and whatnot. So I mean, essentially, and by no means I'm no doctor, but I'm a ham radio operator and a musician, and have a fairly good understanding of a lot of things, even meteorology. I'm a sky-worn spotter. Not to mention I surfed for many years, and really was quite a weather fanatic. So I kind of understand the science behind a lot of these things, not to a great extent, but enough to know that now that I've noticed the time I started deteriorating mentally seemed to occur at the same time that that I started experiencing the Haarp frequency signal in TV programs and such. So it's really kind of got me thinking now that whether or not this frequency is agitating something in my brain and causing these things. And I actually did send my last video that I made with the embedded Haarp signal to my shrink, because I had told them about hearing the sound in the TV, which is where I think I got the schizoid tendencies with my bipolar disorder. And so I'm just wondering now. I mean, matter of fact, I told him, I said, who's crazy now? Because I was hearing that sound. I wasn't making it up. And I kind of proved it to you. And as a matter of fact, if you watch my other video, the sound is going constantly through the background. And I thought really what was pretty neat was you can't really hear it while you're listening to me talk, but if you put your ear right up next to the speaker and listen for it, you'll hear it. And then that's sort of like, wow, it really comes through really clear, and you don't even know you're hearing it. So it's really something unusual, and it's something to be concerned about. Whether or not it's a good thing or a bad thing, it's something we should all be interested in. And I appreciate all the positive feedback that I've had so far regarding any information I have with Haarp, and I hope that I can continue to better understand how this is working and what it does, and if I can ever provide any more information, I would certainly try. Thank you for joining me, and I appreciate your watching my video.